The next tab I'm going to talk about is the display options. This area is used to troubleshoot display issues and optimize video performance. In the 3D view display quality, we have three types of settings here. The first one is the OpenGL 2.1 Shader 4 setting. This setting provides per pixel lighting for diffuse highlights. It will also enable the shaded billboard feature for ecosystem previews. So this is more of the hardware setting. So this is if your video card can support the OpenGL 2.1 Shader 4. If it can't, View will try to use the second option, and this is OpenGL Fixed Hardware Pipeline. This option enables OpenGL previewing of the scene using the fixed hardware pipeline in your video board. And then the third one is the software version, so it won't use the hardware accelerator, it'll just use the software version. This option tells View to not use the hardware acceleration in your video board, but will emulate the OpenGL features using a default fully compliant software implementation of OpenGL instead. If your video board driver does not support this function, it can cause system instability. One thing that we should note is that Remote Desktop will use the OpenGL software version. So if you're on a computer and you're remote desktoping to a computer and you want to run View on that computer, it's going to default to the OpenGL because Remote Desktop does not support hardware acceleration. The next setting we have is Enable Background Draw. View uses two different levels of 3D view quality. The first one is instant feedback, and the second one is multi-threaded background update. If your video driver doesn't support multi-threaded drawing, disabling multi-threaded background can improve stability. Use Scene Anti-Aliasing to enable OpenGL anti-aliasing of lines and of the entire scene. This can affect performance. Instant Draw and Background Draw customizes the level of detail used for both types of preview. Background Draw should be higher than Instant. Plant Instant Draw and Plant Background Draw customizes the preview quality of the plants, independent from the preview quality of other objects. Plants can be video processor demanding. The button next to OpenGL 2.1 Shader 4, labeled Video Board Info, will give you information about your video card and if it is using the shader engine. So if I click on this, this is telling me that my video card is a Quadro FX 3700M. I happen to be on a Dell Precision Workstation M6400, and it is using shader version 3.1. The next area is the OpenGL texturing options. With these options checked in, objects will preview with their texture maps. If you're having video performance issues, you can uncheck these, and that might be able to help some. The next area is the OpenGL lighting. OpenGL lighting allows you to adjust the number of light sources used for previewing. OpenGL supports a maximum of 8 light sources. To accelerate previewing, reduce the number of lights used by OpenGL. The next area is OpenGL Atmosphere Preview. When enabled, View colors the sky according to the atmosphere settings in your scene. Clouds are not taken into account. Lens flares and plants can also be previewed. The next area is Preview Dynamic Ecosystems. Decreasing the number of instances increases performance. Increasing the number increases visual quality of the preview. The next area is Limit OpenGL Polygons. Because some video boards may have issues displaying the millions of polygons of View scenes, this option will automatically limit the number of polygons the video board has to draw in order to avoid OpenGL driver issues. This number can be increased, but if you start to experience crashes, you should revert back to 128 megabytes. The example has taken the total video board memory and divided it by 2 and entered the results next to the max usable video memory. This only needs to be tweaked the first time you open View. The next area is View Options, and I will discuss View Options more in the following video. The next area is maintain instant draw frame rate. While moving around in 3D space, we will attempt to maintain a minimum frame rate. This setting only affects instant draw. If your movement through 3D space is slideshowish, increasing the frame rate might be needed. The next area is degraded modes. When your system runs out of system resources, Vue will give up some of its peripheral processing in order to focus on vital tasks. View background options. These options changes the background views. OpenGL clipping. This option lets you define the OpenGL view clipping planes. Near plane distant clips objects closer to the camera than distance defined. Far plane distant clips objects further from the camera than the distance defined.